What if some of the most incredible places on Earth aren't the ones filling up your Instagram feed? Forget the Eiffel Tower, Times Square, and the beaches everyone already knows. Hidden around the world are mysterious valleys, forgotten villages, underground cities, secret islands, and ancient ruins that can be surprisingly difficult to find. Today, we're exploring 10 secret places that feel almost impossible to discover. And number 1 might be the most unbelievable of them all. 10. Destino de las Bodegas, Spain. Imagine walking through a town where enormous rocks form the roofs of people's homes. That's Destino de las Bodegas in southern Spain. Instead of building around the cliffs, residents built directly underneath them. Streets pass through massive rock overhangs, while homes and restaurants are tucked into the stone. The rock also helps keep the buildings naturally cool during Spain's hot summers. It's one of those places that looks completely unreal, yet people have lived here for centuries. 9. Marble Caves, Chile. Hidden in Patagonia is a series of caves carved entirely from marble. The marble caves sit on General Carrera Lake, where thousands of years of waves have sculpted the rock into smooth tunnels and enormous formations. When sunlight reflects through the turquoise water, the marble walls glow with shades of blue, white, and gray. The caves are extremely remote, making the journey almost as impressive as the destination itself. 8. Kuldhara, India. In the Rajasthan desert lies an abandoned village surrounded by mystery. Kuldhara was once home to a thriving community, but around the early 19th century, its residents suddenly left. Nobody knows exactly why. Local legends claim the village was cursed, preventing anyone from successfully settling there again. Today, only ruined homes, stone walls, and empty streets remain. Walking through Kuldhara feels like entering a town where everyone disappeared overnight. 7. The Door to Hell, Turkmenistan. In the middle of the Karakum Desert is a giant crater that has been burning for decades. Known as the Door to Hell, it was created after a drilling accident caused the ground to collapse. The gas inside was deliberately ignited with the expectation that it would eventually burn out. But decades later, the flames are still visible. At night, the enormous orange glow rising from the desert creates one of the strangest sights on Earth. 6. Pyramiden, Norway. Deep inside the Arctic Circle is an abandoned Soviet mining town called Pyramiden. At its peak, thousands of people lived here. There were apartments, schools, sports facilities, a swimming pool, and even a statue of Lenin. Then the town was abandoned in 1998. Today, empty buildings stand surrounded by snow and mountains. Walking through Pyramiden feels like stepping into a Soviet town frozen in time. 5. Derinkuyu, Turkey. Beneath the ground in Cappadocia lies an entire hidden city. Derinkuyu extends many levels underground and contains rooms, tunnels, storage areas, wells, ventilation shafts, and places of worship. Thousands of people could reportedly take shelter here. Massive stone doors could also be used to block passages from attackers. From the surface, you'd never know that an entire underground world existed beneath your feet. 4. Isle of Skye, Scotland. Scotland's Isle of Skye is famous for dramatic mountains and waterfalls, but some of its most beautiful locations are far away from the popular viewpoints. Hidden among the Quillan Mountains are quiet streams, natural pools, waterfalls, and rugged valleys. The landscape can look completely different depending on the weather. When the crowds disappear, the silence makes the area feel almost untouched. 3. Civita di Bagnoregio, Italy. Perched on top of a fragile volcanic plateau is one of Italy's strangest villages. Civita di Bagnoregio is surrounded by deep valleys and can only be reached by crossing a long pedestrian bridge. Erosion has slowly isolated the town, leaving only a tiny permanent population. Inside, you'll find medieval buildings, narrow stone streets, and almost no modern traffic. It feels like a medieval town suspended above the Italian countryside. 2. Kolmanskop, Namibia. Imagine opening the door of an abandoned house and finding a room completely filled with sand. That's Kolmanskop. This abandoned mining town was once a wealthy diamond settlement in the middle of Namibia's desert. But after the diamonds disappeared, the residents left. The desert slowly moved in. Today, sand covers bedrooms, hallways, and entire buildings, creating one of the strangest abandoned towns on Earth. 1. Socotra, Yemen. And finally, we reach a place that looks like another planet. Socotra is an isolated island in the Arabian Sea, famous for its bizarre dragon blood trees. These trees have thick trunks and enormous umbrella-shaped canopies. But the trees aren't the only strange thing here. Socotra has unique plants and animals found nowhere else, along with enormous caves, rugged mountains, turquoise water, and isolated beaches. Its incredible isolation has allowed an ecosystem to develop unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. It's easy to understand why Socotra is often described as an alien world hiding on our own planet. But there is an important lesson behind all 10 of these places. The world's most fascinating destinations aren't always the ones with the biggest crowds or the most famous landmarks. Sometimes they're hidden beneath the ground. Sometimes they're buried by sand. Sometimes they're abandoned in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes they're simply waiting beyond the road most travelers never take. So, the next time you plan a trip, don't just ask yourself, where is everyone going? Ask a different question. What haven't they discovered yet? Because somewhere out there, another secret place is waiting.